Hello and welcome to the Universe Science Center. I'll give you a little background first. I'm Charles Shults, a scientist with decades of experience in many fields. I started as a child with an interest in rocks and fossils and expanded to electronics, astronomy, and genetics soon after. My interest drove me to learn about many fields of science, and soon I was working in aerospace and weapons systems for Martin Marietta, which later became Lockheed Martin. My training included certification for the inspection and assembly of spaceflight hardware and systems, spaceflight compliant solder and cabling methods, and also safety such as electrocution resuscitation, CPR, and fire control. I developed automated calibration systems and wrote many of the diagnostics for production of the Copperhead tank killer system, worked on testing for the Patriot missiles, AH-64 advanced attack helicopters, and many other systems. My work included writing the nuclear EMP test software for the Pershing II and also creating all of the early software for the Component Reliability Improvement Center, where we tested every microchip that went into defense systems. Later, I spent a couple of years working with the Nuclear Design and Test Lab, finding out how to test microcircuits for their resistance to damage from nuclear radiation, such as ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. I was the chief engineer at the John Young Planetarium, where I built optical effects and laser hardware systems for light shows and rebuilt the control panels and systems for the planetarium. In the early 90s, I performed research in nuclear fusion and was able to duplicate and define the Pons and Fleischmann effect for cold fusion. This work was done with the backing and support of Dr. Nelson Ying, adjunct professor of nuclear physics at the University of Central Florida. We also had George Brown, the President's advisor on space, science, and technology, present for our live demonstration. While working for Universal Studios Orlando, I was responsible for the computer and automation systems at Back to the Future: The Ride. It's also known as animation control. My team was able to eliminate ride shutdown issues entirely by the end of my tenure there, and for the first time had no ride shutdowns. While there, I took on the task of training the staff in electrical troubleshooting, solder and rework, motor troubleshooting, and software compliance for the Y2K issues. In 2000, I was awarded the Ying Genius Award and a 5-year grant that supported my research in robotics and artificial intelligence. I was also knighted as Sir Charles of the Barony of Balchline, which is located in Aberdeenshire, Scotland. In 2004, I made the discovery of marine fossils on Mars and published the findings showing that complex alien life existed on the planet. Later, I won 2 lawsuits against NASA based on their colorizing the sky orange and withholding images beyond the 90-day embargo period. My research into plasma physics produced a plasma engine for moving spacecraft from low orbit to high orbit for the Space Island Group, the orbital power station company. I headed a team to develop solar-powered turbine systems in New Mexico and built sun-tracking Fresnel lens systems that could use the heat of the sun to boil molten steel. One of my systems that I built made ozone for water purification at extremely high efficiency. The system was tested by Helsinki at the University of Albuquerque and found to have the highest power to ozone efficiency of any system they had tested. December of 2014 saw me awarded with a Doctor of Science honoris causa. In 2015, I wrote a paper on epigenetics and histone molecules as the agents for locating specific genes in the chromosomes. One of my co-authors was George Einstein. He was a cousin of Albert Einstein. 8,000 copies of the paper were distributed at the Experimental Biology Conference in Boston. Recently, I have been performing the task of stunt coordinator and winch operator in numerous big-budget movies such as Marvel's Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, X-Men Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, The Predator, Venom 2, and First Man. Check my Internet Movie Database or IMDb page where you can see a listing of many of the movies that I've worked on. One of my latest developments is the Virtual Science Center, also known as the Universe Science Center, an online, fully virtual place where people all over the world can step into the environment of galleries and exhibits with interactive, hands-on exhibits and displays. So what are we doing now? Remember when you were in school and you would go on field trips, and sometimes they take you to the dairy farm to see milk produced, or they take you to the bottling plant, or they take you to the science center. And those field trips were a lot of fun. In each of these cases, you got to see how things were done in the real world, how things actually operated. When you went to the Science Center, that was always a lot of fun. There were hand-cranked generators, there were lasers and mirrors, there were magnetic devices.
and you got to see the planetarium. Now, we have recreated that whole experience online in a virtual world. So you can use your desktop or laptop computer, you can use a virtual reality headset, or you can, in the near future, use your phone. In any of those cases, you can go directly to the Science Center that we've created online. Now, students, teachers, or whole classrooms, even if the schools are closed, can participate in this. Now, one of the things we're really proud about is that it has a game-like environment that encourages play. And as you know, play is the primary method of learning. Children play because it's teaching them. They're thinking of scenarios, they're playing them out, trying to figure out how it would work. What we're looking for is a system like Wikipedia that will grow in size and complexity and allow people all over the world, no matter who they are, to come in and experience it firsthand. It's just exactly like going somewhere out in the field and participating in it. How can you participate? One of the easiest ways is simply to subscribe. If you subscribe, you can get into this system anywhere in the world and enjoy it at any time. We're also building a library of videos that show how things work, how you can do things, and we're also doing online classes which can be live and actually hosted from within that Science Center. The other way you can participate is get involved with schools. Support teachers and classrooms subscribing so they can all participate. There's a third way to participate, and that is if you're a donor. You can support the development and maintenance of a gallery or a subject. And all of these help us make the Science Center grow in complexity and scale and make education available to everybody. You know, a world full of stupid people isn't a good place. You want a world of educated, competent, and helpful people around you. Education is our single most important thing that we can give our kids. That being said, I hope that you will participate in the Virtual Science Center. Come in, explore it a little, look around, and see what you think. It's located at schultzlaboratories.com. We hope it inspires you enough to become a participant, a supporter, a subscriber, anything you can do to help. Remember, this is going to be big. The virtual world is where everything is going. Thank you.